right, now I'm recording because this is too good to miss.
I believe that.
Thanks, Brian.
Welcome everyone to a pretty filthy casual episode of the Knife Nuts podcast. That's how we're going to start this one.
I mean,
don't edit any of that out.
Okay, fine. I mean, I don't think we could really call it a casual episode when for like the last, 8 episodes where we haven't had a guest, it's taken this exact same format. Where we're just like, hey, do you guys want to record tonight? Okay. And then don't have any ideas.
Yeah, but Brian's compressor, that was its first entrance, so.
We're actually firing Brian and hiring the compressor as the fourth member of the team.
It's got more personality.
It's got more personality.
It's got just as much
Thank God.
hair.
Okay, I also thought it was Brian had mastered the joke and used a tumbler when you said you were hand tumbling knives. I thought he turned
That's
on his
exactly
tumbler.
what it was.
Yes, I called it.
At least
was a
somebody's on the
tumbler.
fucking ball.
I knew it was a
the
tumbler.
tumbler.
All right.
He had okay, in our defense, he did have the compressor on before.
I mean, it sounded like every single different machine
It sounded
was on.
like a tumbler.
It
Yeah.
sounded like a robot was getting fucked in there.
There it is. Oh no, that's just his pet snake that he just.
Are
got.
you guys familiar with the genre of music called field recordings? We're just going to make a whole album of sounds from Brian's shop.
No one is familiar with that. But, no.
You know what? That reminds me, we never did the Brian Nadeau VR experience.
I don't think
This is it. This whole podcast has been the Brian Nadeau VR experience.
Please don't make this about me.
Oh, man. That should be the title of the
Next
episode.
podcast, everybody. This is what you don't pay for, thankfully. Imagine if we had a Patreon and people paid for this.
Yeah,
Oh my
no,
God.
this is what happens when we don't have Patreon supporters.
Exactly.
Because,
What-
like our Instagram fan said, we need money to buy more surds and other stuff.
Other stuff.
Yeah. We can't afford to give anything else away, so that's pretty much how this is going to go.
Yeah.
So anybody get any knives?
I did. It was actually, I was 2 for 2 on avoiding power outages during these storms, and I got in some cool knives. So, in the immortal words of Peter Steele, I am less miserable. So yeah, should we start with the big one, which is the
You might as well.
the Mini Typhoon. I finally got my Mini Typhoon. So, yeah, one of the last ones it seems like, but
Brian's the only one not applauding.
because you should be applauding yourself for finally getting to the end of these Mini Typhoons.
Oh, I have one knife. I'm done. I have one knife left that is at the Cerakote guy. I wasn't happy with it, so he took it back. And then that's it. I have no more orders. It's a little scary,
Yeah.
Well, you got
I'm
the
used-
micro coming through.
Yeah, but I'm used to always having 6 months worth of orders ahead of me that I know I'm going to be eating for the next 6 months. Right now, it's like, what am I going to do?
Does that mean you get to start the chicane faster, or?
Well, that's pretty much the plan. What I'm going to do is, while I screw around getting the chicane, all the files on, and there's just so much work that has to be done ahead of time when you have to make, you're making fixtures, and then you have to hold all these parts in multiple different ways and a bunch of shit. So while I'm getting the last of that stuff done, I'm going to make up a couple daggers and probably throw together a couple more Mini Typhoons, because I do have a couple blades here. And then
I'll take one of each.
You've got that one outstanding order with a podcast co-host.
2 outstanding orders.
yeah, they'll never have it. They didn't laugh. Dave thought it was funny.
I did, because I've got mine secured, so I don't have to worry about the Mini Typhoons anymore.
And I mean, mine would be my second. I'm just being greedy.
Yeah, I think DMX had a song about that. But anyway, Brian. I'm super happy with mine. Like, it's awesome. I know you're our co-host, but there's no other way to describe it. It's really awesome. It's just so well done, and the thing that I like about it is it just feels different from every other sort of titanium frame lock flipper you can get. And I mean, obviously it's because you put a lot more attention into these than your average production knife, but it feels different, and that is what makes it stand out in this day and age when there's a million knives in the same sort of price range.
I don't know what you mean by feels different because I don't handle too many other people's knives.
Yeah,
but
it's. I think it's the way you do the detent. The fact that there is no transition from the lock bar to the detent, so it doesn't ever the detent doesn't ever fall off the blade. It's just a very smooth transition.
The detent is definitely different from everybody else's. Well, except from one douche now.
It's just incredibly smooth, and everything is like every edge is broken on it.
It does feel like someone else's knife now.
Don't even mention his name. I don't want to give that cocksucker any play.
Oh yeah, but I'm just so happy with it. It's awesome. I'm really glad I got in on it. I almost, this almost went past me. This was one of the last ones, so I'm glad I did it. So thank you, Brian.
Yeah, it's one of the last ones that's made in the USA too.
Listen, because I have one knife being made out of the country, and you know what? At least I'm one of the fucking guys that come out and tell you that it's made in China, especially after how I've been kind of not too easy on them.
Whoa.
I could have just sold it and said, hey, it was mine, like half these other fucking pricks do.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how many people we keep finding out are doing that.
I know. I don't know if we should stay on this topic or not, but I wanted to shout out Ekim. I don't even know if it was a new video or not, but it was new to me. I just watched it last night. And he's kind of just giving advice for, new knife makers on his YouTube channel. And I think he spent more time just repeating that than anything else. And I got to agree with him. It's the most important thing you can do, or the biggest mistake you can make, whichever way you want to look at it. It's like, it doesn't matter if you use a certain type of tool versus another type of tool. It doesn't matter how you're doing it is not going to make or break you. It's whether you're upfront with your customers and you tell them. Like he was talking about using a jig. As opposed to freehanding.
We like to call them fixtures nowadays.
Yeah, as opposed to like CNC versus no CNC, or whether if it's the parts are made in China and then it's assembled in the United States is not the same as made in USA. You know what I mean?
Well, my knife identifies as made in USA, and it also identifies as hand ground. So
the thing is, there's money to be made even if you say it's Chinese made. Why go and lie to your customers and totally scumbag everybody? It doesn't make sense to me. Because you would think when people found out they'd be pissed, but I don't know. It seems like people are just oblivious to it.
I agree. It just doesn't matter. That's as long as you put out a quality product, it does not matter.
Yep, totally. And the Mini Typhoon is that awesome. I think my favorite detail is, so I have the aspirated frame you can see it on my Instagram if you guys are interested. And on the aspirations, I have the edges polished, but instead of just doing it with like a piece of sandpaper and your finger or something, Brian, you
can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you could use like a little dowel or something, I assume, to polish it. But instead, it's milled.
No one's going to do that.
Instead, it's milled, so it has all these facets like a disco ball, and they just kind of reflect in the light.
Reason it has facets, there is reasons behind that. Because I'm projecting a tool path onto a spline, because it's not a those holes aren't made once you project it. It's hard to explain. Once you project it onto a 3D surface, it's not on a single plane. So they're all little splines that are going from one to another. So that's what gives it that facet type of look.
Well, it looks awesome. And hey, listeners, don't tell us that we never get into awesome technical detail, because I understood none of that.
I actually understood that. I can't.
No, I get it, because like one part of the aspiration is higher or lower than the other because of the sort of 3D contour.
Well, for example, if I took that hole and I projected the shape of the hole up to the zero surface, it would give a shape. Now that's how I draw and extrude those holes through there. So when I draw in my 3D CAD, all those arcs have specific shapes and sizes to them. So there's going to be an arc on the top, an arc on the bottom, and then each end. So really it's going to be 4 arcs when I draw it. But when you're projecting that drawn arc onto a surface that's radiused, you're not on a flat plane anymore, and it makes it all splines instead of 4 arcs.
Yeah, I got a C in geometry, so I'm going to pretend like I have something to contribute to.
Brian, is that a single pass, or is the tool coming back in and circling, so to speak?
For which part? For just the chamfer?
For the raw bevels, yeah.
Yes, that's just one pass.
One pass, okay.
It looks cool. I mean, I've had other knives that have had holes that were then polished to the sort of bezel, but it's very cool. I love it.
Yeah, for that price, you're not getting hand polish holes.
Yeah, I like this. It looks cooler. It's more unique, and I don't know. Overall, I'm super happy with it. Like, I don't really carry my Cyclone, but I have been carrying this one quite a bit.
I mean, I'd like to go even further with it, and instead of doing a chamfer all around, take a little tool and do all little tool paths so you can do different. It's just, again, unfortunately, it's hard to make money doing that stuff. That's why I kind of am backing off a little bit and going to do my own thing a little bit, try to get the juices flowing again.
Maybe some weird ones at Blade, since...
I don't know about weird, but
experimental stuff that you haven't been able to do.
Mine is the perfect one to experiment on because I've got outside funding for that one. I've got my own little Patreon account for that one.
Your wife,
nice.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it, Brian. I'm glad I got in on it, and I keep forgetting it's S90V. Like, I just keep assuming it's some conventional steel, and then it's just an awesome detail about it. So, thank you.
Good. Glad you like it, man.
And also, Jake, you got to mute yourself when you're not talking because we're getting the robot farting noises. Yeah. Sorry, Jake. And then other knives, production stuff. I got the ZT-0462, the Sinkovich, the upsized one of the 0460, which is based on this Polychocky design. And Levon, that was when I was at your house on Friday. That was the first time I handled the 0460, and I think it's just stupidly small. Like.
You're stupidly small.
You don't even like it. You were going to sell that thing, and then you had it customized. What was the deal there?
I still like it. I like it enough that I've kept it.
I thought you were going to get rid of it when you first got it.
I might get rid of it now.
Yes, it's because, well, here's the thing. I love this design. It's probably my favorite folding knife design, but it's an incredibly inefficient use of handle space. Like, there is a good, I don't know, on this full-size one, there's a good 3/4 of an inch at the front and back that you can't actually hold. So, like, a smaller version of this knife is the worst idea they could have had. I did not like the 460, but the 462 is awesome. It's seriously good.
It definitely. I think it's the only one of. I like that one of the new ZTs and the RJ Martin one.
I'm gonna get that one too. I'm not gonna get the 393. I'm not as interested in it at this point, but hey, people are liking it. The one thing I will say about the 462, it doesn't have that crazy like detent strength and lock bar tension that ZT has been doing. Like, I just sold my 452 CF, but that thing was like super strong detent, super strong lock bar tension. This is the exact opposite, to the point where it feels like something's loose, and it isn't. It's just like that smooth.
Knowing your luck, the detent's probably just going to fall out.
Oh, I hate flipping knives on podcasts, but I just
I thought you were going to say, "Oh, it just fell out."
That would be great. I mean, you know what? I don't know. Is the detent ball pressed into the insert or the?
Oh, well,
it is not. It's pressed into the titanium, so it's less likely to fall out. Nice touch, ZT. I really like it. It's awesome. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. And you know what? The best part is it's cheaper than the Greenthorn clone of the Polychocky, which is made in China. It is $300.
And what's really funny is that I'm actually going to hold out and hope they do a
full tie
TI version. Yeah.
I mean, if they do, it's literally like a cheaper American-made version of the Chinese.
That's all I want.
Of the Chinese-made original.
That knife would just benefit from that monochrome look.
Yeah, that's what it originally was. Also, the red actually looks cool. It's a very metal knife. Yeah. It's black and very and it's pointy and stabby. It's very
made
metal.
Of metal. Yeah,
it's very metal. I like it.
Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up the RJ Martin. I'm really impressed. They did a good job with it. And then lastly, I got in this. This was a total impulse, but I bought. You know how much I love Richard Wu. I got the Rike 803 CH, which is their collaboration with this sort of nebulous knife company called CH Knives that sells all their knives on AliExpress and DHgate. To their credit, they're all like original designs. China.
That's right.
And they have a few China D2 knives. They do some S35E and some M390, but they got a fair share of China D2. So, they're out here repping our brand. It's good. It was $200. It's got M390. It's got a cool Quakenish design, but in classic Richard Wu fashion, the blade stock is like way too thick. Like I got that 1507 in from Mastrop, that Rike, and that thing just was a fucking axe. It was like a wedge. It was terrible. And as much as I hate to say that about Rike, the finish was great, but the blade grind was awful. This is better. I like it.
Richard Wu, speaking of him, he's been very much in the public eye. I think he thinks that Thor 6 is his magnum opus.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable for a piece of CNC. Like, it looks like something that someone like carved.
I also
by
can't
hand.
tell if that knife is really huge or they're just really small.
You know what? This has happened to me before. Kaiser posted a knife, and it was like a Chinese woman holding the knife, and it looked gigantic, and it just turned out to be a normal size knife. So I have no I have no idea.
He's posting a lot of selfies now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
And in the third person, I might add. It's like Richard Wu and the Thor 6.
He is just
like,
a fucking enigma. Like, is that knife ever going to come out? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Is he going to market it by taking weird selfies? Yes.
Well, he's probably going to want $5,000 at least
absolutely.
for that freaking thing. That thing is, where does he get Timascus or Mokutai in that thickness?
I thought he made it.
I don't know if he makes it. I think he has it made for him.
I know he's posted pictures of like Chinese-made Mokutai, which might be the next T-shirt idea.
I wonder what the import tax is going to be like on those.
Oh God, yeah, they're going to be crazy. I want to see. Well, you know, if we're at Blade, he'll definitely have them at Blade. I'd think.
That was a political joke for everybody.
Oh, tariffs. Yeah, that's probably the biggest news. We should talk about that at some point. But
yes.
I bet he'll have the Thor 6 at Blade. That thing is wild, and I'm sure it'll be an absolutely insane amount of money there too. So
I can't remember. Like Jake and I were at the last show we went to was the New York show. We won't be able to make it to the East Coast Custom Knife Show, but we will be at Blade. Either way, there were 3 representatives for Rike at New York. And they were pretty coy about saying who was who. But I feel like Richard Wu was there and standing in the background, like kind of overseeing everything and didn't speak any English. So
yeah, they have not done a great job of like they now have a like Rike Knives USA account from someone in Brooklyn who appears to speak English. Maybe Mike Ziva. Just kidding. But yeah, they've never done a great... I just have to think that the guy has some other source of income and doesn't actually care about knives.
No. I mean, they were very upfront about that. It's like they do a lot of manufacturing for other companies.
But like knives, though? Or something else?
No.
Because like we would see these knives. Like this is the thing that I call kind of bullshit on Wii knives. They're saying they're doing OEM. Were they doing like OEM but like making shitty knives all these years and not making good ones? Because like there haven't been... There's not a decade's worth of good Chinese knives. So who were they doing OEM work for?
Jason Browse.
Yeah, but like Wii knives are of such superior quality to Browse's stuff that like I don't who are they doing?
I guess it's whatever they're paying for. I mean, the way they were describing it to me from Rike was that, you know, Rike is like a passion project. Like it's stuff that he puts his time and his energy into.
I can see that.
And everything else is just, you know, run of the mill, so to speak.
Bad puns.
That wasn't a pun. It was, you know.
It was a pun. It just wasn't a terrible pun.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, that's true. And that's what we're used to here, frankly. But yeah, that's it for me. So three pretty awesome knives. I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm definitely gonna be a broke boy come September when I start school again. So I better stock up now because there's not gonna be a lot of knives in my future.
I'm a broke boy right now.
Yeah, you bought a house. It's a little different.
Well, but I'm knife broke.
I mean, you didn't not get anything in recently.
Well, you want to know something crazy? My Robert Carter custom tech is still in Texas.
Like
The post office is fucking with me.
when did they ship it?
Robert
Yeah.
shipped it 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh shit! Yeah, when I was there.
Yeah, it's been bouncing around between Houston and Beaumont, Texas. I called, and they said that there's something wrong with the barcode. And then I get a call from my post office saying, we saw you put in a thing, you called, and there's something wrong with your you haven't received your package. We just want to let you know that it's in Texas. And I was just like, yeah, I know it's in Texas. That's the problem is that it's not in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you just gotta write it out.
That's all I'm doing right now.
Eventually, it'll come.
Yeah, at least it says processing exception now. At least they realize something is wrong, and it's just not moving back and forth on the same conveyor belt.
Yeah, what's the longest that you've had a knife lost in the mail from the post service?
This is a record for me. It's going on a month. So
I had the first Gale Bradley I bought took a month, just disappeared and then reappeared like 3 weeks later. It was bizarre. Jake, have you had that experience?
Not necessarily stuck in the mail. I've been scammed a time or two.
Yeah.
My only bad recent shipping experience was FedEx bumping back the shipping date for both my Surd and Levon's surprise purple kitty cat Surd.
I got a purple kitty cat Surd.
Yeah, they bumped both of them back 3 separate times, and that was FedEx.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
And that was before the storm, so yeah, it's just bad.
Brian,
Bad service.
you probably ship more things than any of us. Have you had any real horror stories with the post service?
One time the day before Christmas, I shipped out something to a guy, and for some reason, right before that, they changed like the value to whether or not it needed a signature. Like it was always $500, and then it would automatically require a signature. Well, then it went to $550 or some bullshit like that. My wife sent it out for me, and so it didn't have a signature on it, and it ended up going to the wrong person's house and sat on somebody's doorstep supposedly.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, I remember. I wasn't sure. You don't know if the person's playing games or not. It's like everything sounds kind of fishy. We just kept playing it out. Eventually, he said he got it, so we was all good with that. I had shit shipped out to me in California. I forget who I shipped that. I think that was just USPS too. I had it shipped out to where I was staying in California, and it ended up showing up. We had to change our plans because I was driving out to Vegas to go to the Vegas show, and I shipped all my knives there, So I was like panicking whether or not I was going to get them. I had to change plans while I was there, but I ended up getting them. That's pretty much it. Not, everything. As long as you do things right, typically everything seems to turn out well. Matter of fact, I even just sent one the other day to Canada. He got it.
Oh, good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell people straight up, listen, him I told straight up, I'm not making any promises. If you want to go through with it, I'll build you the knife. Otherwise, I'll just refund your money. And he wanted to go through with it. He took all the responsibility, so I marked it any way he wanted. I shipped it any way he wanted, and it ended up there.
Did you send it assembled or disassembled?
Yep, all assembled.
Okay, interesting.
I would imagine. I was just going to say that I imagine that a lot of reform is going to happen on that Canadian bill because it's just insane.
Yeah, it seems like there's some progress.
Yeah, but how many people really give a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
More people than we thought.
You think?
I think so.
I think only because it's hurting an industry. I think if there was no knife stores in Canada or something, if there was no money to be made on it, no one would care. But
right.
If it was just knife collectors, then maybe it'd be a different story. But I guess at least there's some sort of like sporting goods industry that's probably being affected by it that are pissed.
Sure.
So.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as if there's some money involved, but yeah, I mean, I had to send a knife disassembled there, but that's another story.
My tiebreaker is still in.
It's not coming back. It ain't coming back. I mean,
it's been there. It's been there a while.
You know how long it takes to sort out an estate after someone dies? They're never gonna figure out whose knife it
is. That's true.
Yeah.
I got another knife.
You got a lot of knives.
Did I? What else did I get? I know I got one. I'm sitting here flipping it.
I thought you got like the kitchen knives, and then there's.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Those are nice.
Fuck. Yeah, I got that Lionsteel Shuffler.
Oh yeah, you did get one.
It's tight. I like it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I like it too. It's good. Yeah. It's just I forget 90% of the time that I have it in my pocket. I think I've seen that knife twice since I bought it.
I think it's sitting in like where I drop my keys and shit. that's like
It sits in a
just-
slipcase in my pocket, and I just leave it in my jeans. Like,
Oh, slipcase! Aren't you fancy?
well, maybe.
I got a Liong Mah 15.
Ooh, yeah. How is it?
Amazing. That's the thing. That is a knife that pictures do no justice for. That knife is, as far as manufacturing goes, like I don't think it gets better than this. Genuinely.
I mean, it's pretty wild. It's an integral. It's got that crazy birch ventilation milling shit going on. It's pretty incredible.
And I went ham and got the hand rubbed version.
Yeah.
So that has the orange peeled frame.
Yep.
And it's a hand rubbed flat and main bevel, and the rest is grinder satin, and it looks amazing.
It's a really nice knife. If I didn't have a Warrior 2, I'd be much more interested in it, but it's just nice.
I might just have to send this one for you to play with.
It's crazy. It's pretty big though,
It's
isn't
epic.
it? Pretty huge.
It's a 4-inch knife, but it does not carry.
I mean, yeah, because
like
it's
a
very
4-inch
narrow.
knife at all.
I also,
Yeah,
I love that the pocket clip is just flying in the face of what everyone wants. It's a sort of bent, like titanium,
3D clip, yes.
bent deep carry clip, which is like,
with a ceramic ball.
yeah, I would not have expected that to be the clip, but I like it.
Yeah, the clip is an enigma. Hey, Brian, are you going to do a 3D clip on the chicane? And
Oh
is he asleep?
shit! No, it's the mute again. I'd like to.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm going to do it on all of them. It depends on what I end up making. You know, I might not end up making too many of them. I might just make some fancy ones and see what the hell happens.
Well, I'm curious. You'd probably have to do the frame differently if you're doing a 3D one versus if you're doing the inserted bent clip.
I have it drawn both ways. I have every time I make something, I have it drawn like 15.
Look, this
ways.
is why you pay extra for Sharp by Design knives. The man thinks this shit through.
It's very true.
I did like, Brian, you posted the picture of that inlaid Mini Typhoon, which, by the way, why was that not an option when we wanted it? But
like you were going to pay for that. Come on.
no, probably
cheap
not.
bastard.
No, you're right. Also, that G10 was hideous, but the proof of concept was there. But anyway,
Right.
I like how immediately someone was like, it would be better without the screws, and then you had an actual explanation for that, which is good because, you know, people might just assume it's laziness, but clearly you are thinking this shit through.
I just don't. I just have a hard time relying on tape. I don't give a fuck how good it is. It's like, to me, it's putting together something with bubble gum.
Yeah.
Now, okay, like somebody said, if you're doing wood or something that's brittle or something like that, then maybe I can see it. But most of my knives are users' knives. You know, there's not too many of my knives that aren't. And
The knives might be users, but I don't know about the people who buy them.
Yeah.
yeah, well, they have to be able to be used, in my opinion. So, you know, gluing them on or taping them in or bubble gum or whatever the fuck you use, I just can't do with it. I have to screw them in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, if it was wood or something like that, maybe I'll try something else. But I'm just going to do blind screws from the inside for the new knives. I just wasn't about to go. You know, I'm finished up with this goddamn thing. I wasn't about
Yeah.
to go start, you know, redrawing it and doing holes in the back and changing geometry and blah blah blah.
And the screws they're not obtrusive, like compared to, you know, a certain Benchmade.
I was gonna say, at least the screw placement is like symmetrical and makes sense. And not just
I was gonna put one off center.
just sort of floating in the middle of nowhere like Benchmade does. Fucking Benchmade.
Oh my God! Did you see both N Fresh and Dr. Frunk?
Yeah. Well, first off, I don't want to say you guys fucked up.
Why did you do that? Yes.
My guy, don't be spending $300 on a custom shop. First off, it is just highway robbery. The custom shop
Absolutely.
shit. Why is it $60 for them to make you G10 scales? Why? It's crazy. And then they fuck it up too.
The ones they spec looked nice. I mean, it wasn't like they.
Well, the
looked
thing is,
bad.
they don't even have that many options. Like I was pretty pumped because, you know, I like that design. I've got the Mini, and then like they have like 4 G10 colors. That's it. That's it.
For real?
It's like 4 or 5, and you can get like a brass pivot collar inlay, which is cool. But like, there's nothing more exciting.
I'd rather have the knife be centered and work.
I know, honestly. It's it's so bad. The best part is these people are custom specking these from the quote unquote custom shop, and so like someone has to take the time to assemble these. How do you just like assemble it and then look at it and be like, yeah, that's centered.
That's right. I'm going to send this out. It's perfect.
That's been the trend for this this season, because the same thing happened with that Lum exclusive in Hap 40.
Oh yeah.
What happened with that?
Like half of them were off center.
Yeah, but that's because the Japanese OEM is trash.
So, interesting thing, I learned something about the knife culture in Japan and how it's deteriorating rapidly because of the work conditions in Seki City. So, a lot of the young people don't want to work in non-air conditioned factories or run the non-air conditioned
I don't fucking blame
factories. Right? So, and there's been no advancement whatsoever since they were like the crowning achievement of knife manufacturing.
Well, that explains perfectly why the knives look like they're 20 years old.
Exactly. It's the same shit made by the same people who are now old and can't fucking see.
Damn. That makes sense, because, okay, first up, speaking of that tariff...
It just shows you, again, these new generation want it too fucking easy. Sit your fucking ass down in the heat, get paid, and go the fuck home.
Or make it better.
Yeah. Or do that.
Bring an air conditioner. I don't know.
But, I mean, hey, it's crazy. I've never liked any of the Japanese-made Spydercos, and now that there's like the tariff on imported steels, like if this actually goes through, Spyderco is going to be like, nah, bruh. You remember that 5% or 10% price increase last year? It's 20% now. Spyderco is going to take advantage of this and go nuts with the price increases.
Has anyone read more than I have about the tariff? I know that the last thing I saw was that it went through, but as far as specifics, because from what I've just briefly read, it seems like it's only going to affect bringing like bowler steels and things in from overseas, but all the crucible and the American domestic, it actually shouldn't affect us.
It's going to make that better. It's only for import of foreign steel, and it's really only going to affect large manufacturing steels. For example, there's steel manufacturers in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of people on the Rust Belt that still, are trying to build up their steel manufacturing, and it's been a shit show for the past, however many years. They're really enthusiastic about it, and then there are steel workers on the West Coast that still bring in pallets of imported steel, whether it's from China or from Mexico.
And Mexico is excluded from
excluded.
This,
Mexico and Canada are currently excluded. Yeah, but the point is, before they were talking about all of this and the loss of jobs, they're bringing over. That's mostly people who are manufacturing like solar panels and California stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the tariffs could have zero effect on Japanese-made knives, and Spyderco will still find a way to increase the price of them.
Yeah, well,
that's all. That's the joke I wanted to make.
It's just what they're using right now is Japan is riding the whole a Japanese-made knife means that it's good.
Yeah,
you see it with kitchen knives all the time.
They sold that katana bullshit into American brains so hard that all the weeaboos on the internet will never the Tamagahane.
Nowadays Japanese made just means shit.
Yeah, probably not particularly good. Also, there's a Japanese knife company. Can we talk about selling your own people out? There's a Japanese knife company called Raging Jap Knives.
Wow.
I don't have a knife company called Cheap Kike Knives because
Well, oddly enough, Jap is Jewish American princess,
I know, right?
So.
But I thought that Jap was at one point offensive to Japanese people. So interesting marketing plan. Maybe I will come out with Cheap Kike Knives.
I guess you gotta. I mean, it's just the first part of the country of origin. I mean, it can't be that. It's also just shorter for Japanese. I don't really understand how that is offensive.
But when I say everybody fucking balks.
Exactly.
Come on.
So, Brian, don't let them steal your idea when there's knives coming out next month.
I'm just going to keep quiet.
Just going to be a lot of beeping noises in that last part.
The next move is the Japanese knife companies are going to be lying about the origin, and they're actually going to be made in America and sold as a made in Japan knife.
Yes.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
It's not.
Like, we could get into
All
that.
the shipping you'll save.
Yeah, with shipping to Japan is also wildly expensive. It's like crazy. Sending something to and from Japan, like as a person, I mean, maybe not as an industry, but like as a personal individual, if you want to send your Rockstead back to Japan, $60.
That sucks.
Yeah. So,
Although it's not much cheaper to send an auto from like Pennsylvania to Ohio or something, because it has to go
FedEx,
UPS
yeah.
and it has to go, with the signature and yada yada yada. So funny, I just thought of this right now while we were recording, but Levon and I have a close personal friend who's living in Japan, do we not?
Yeah, we do.
We could probably get him to send us some fun Japanese stuff, like a Rockstead and some used panties or whatever.
Yeah.
are folding
locking
knives legal in Japan? I thought they weren't.
Oh no, nothing's legal in Japan.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't have folding locking knives, so he might not really be able to send you anything. You have a better chance of
Really?
getting it here.
I sent a couple there.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, just like we have a lot of autos here, but
And now the conversation has meandered into knife laws.
Yeah.
we're not
which is
talking
also
about
a
knife
hot
laws.
topic.
I want to talk. Can I just say before we get into that, I also got those custom kitchen knives from DCB Customs,
And they're lovely.
and they're absolutely gorgeous.
They really are.
That's it. Yeah, they're perfect.
I
Gained 20 pounds since you had them, right?
You would be surprised. Well, actually, I probably gained 40 pounds from being like snowed in for the couple days. And when you get bored, all you want to do is like, oh, there's Elio's pizza in the freezer. I think I'll tear through that box.
savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. I have a Miyabi Kaizen Gyuto. I like it. It's like $100.
What'd you just say?
It's a Japanese made chef's knife. It's a Japanese company that's owned by I want to say by Zwilling, or yeah, I think they're owned by Zwilling, which is J.A. Henkel Zwilling, one of like the biggest
Yeah.
German.
Henkel's knives are still good.
Yeah, the German. I don't know. I don't have much interest in the German and European chef knives. Like the steel that they use is like super shitty. It's like 1.4116, like the tin can shit that Cold Steel uses on its super cheap knives.
Oh yeah.
So I don't have much interest in like European kitchen knives, but I'm getting more excited about some of these. Massdrop has a cool sort of $70 8-inch chef's knife in BD1N, which is a nice nitrogen steel, American made.
I'm actually the ones that I'm using right now are BDZ one.
Okay, yeah, it's probably pretty similar. I don't know that one as well, but
The custom ones are AEBO.
okay. Yeah, those are great steels for kitchen knives. They take super keen edges, which is nice. So, yeah, I'm thinking about expanding my sort of kitchen knife repertoire, which is
Your cutlery.
Yeah, my cutlery, which is not something we've talked about on the podcast before.
We just did.
Yeah, look at that, cultured. We're so cultured.
I need some wine and cheese right now. Anyway, that'd be good.
Yeah, is that all you got? Well, you got your purple kitty sword, but I feel like Jake needs to take it away about the sword.
Yeah, the kitty sword.
Excuse me, the swords.
It's like a kitty sword.
It's a baby's first sword.
It kind of is, which is appropriate for me. I don't know. Did I get anything else? I ordered something.
What did you order?
I ordered a new one of the new Kershaws.
The Atmos, the Sinkovich one.
It is the Atmos.
It's so
yes.
nice.
Thank goodness
It looks so
It looks
nice.
so great. Doesn't it look great? I was like, yeah, give me
Nothing
that for
about it
$30.
seems cheap. I know it's like going to be when we get it, but
Well, I really like the Fraction. I had a couple of those. I gave them away.
I just love how many KVT knives they're doing. Like,
Oh my gosh, I couldn't resist. I did
the
it.
Atmos look like I'm looking at like a picture, like a not stock photo, like one from Knife Ship Free, and it like the grind lines look like super crisp and like not like a $30 knife. It really looks good.
Send me that picture.
All right, I'll send it in the chat right now. It looks very.
Because I was going on Kershaw guys' pictures.
Oh god, those are terrible. That's who I got my 462 from. He's pretty great. He ships really fast. Dave's great to work with, but his photography leaves a little bit to be desired.
Speaking of retailers, Tackle Outdoors just got a whole bunch of new product in too.
Oh, how about that?
So
sponsor
our coupon code still works.
Knife Nuts, 10%
Knife
off.
Nuts.
Tackle Outdoor.
10% off. Yeah.
So
Send me that picture.
I did send in the Hangouts chat. Take a look at it. I mean, it's got the custom hardware and like probably fake carbon fiber inserts, but at least it's real G10. Like, goddamn.
That knife looks great.
Yeah.
What's the blade steel on that one?
Oh, you know what it is, unfortunately.
Okay.
8 CR. What if they could do that in like 12C 27, like another super cheap steel, but that's just like slightly better? Man, that would be a cool knife. I'm very tempted to get one.
Great.
The carbon fiber looks real.
It might be like
It
an
is.
overlay. I like the sort of G10
Well, it's
sticker
just like
shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could.
It's a super thin.
Thin carbon fiber is not expensive.
Yeah.
So I mean, that thing could just be a millimeter thick laid in there, and that they pay next to nothing.
That's almost certainly what it is. Yeah,
It's like you're modifying your car in 2002.
gotta get the CF wrap on everything.
Yeah.
That never looked good.
No.
Oh,
Not ever.
I had the red carbon. Oh my god,
Jake, was it you and I who were talking about this, or did we talk about it on the last podcast?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember I picked up a girl for like a lunch date, and I thought it was really cool. I had this my interior was all done up, so I was like a freshman in college at this point. And it was like when she got in the car was the moment I lost my innocence, because I it was her presence made me realize how stupid it looked. I swear to God, that's what it took.
That's funny.
Yeah. You became self-conscious about your fake red carbon fiber.
Yep.
At some point, we all need to grow up, apparently. And that was the moment.
Put everything in perspective.
Jeez. I mean, this is also... the moment I knew you were a psycho is when you told me about driving an AE86. Actually daily driving one of those things.
I launched that thing into my buddy's front yard, man. Oh my God, trying to drift around a cul-de-sac. Oh my God.
What did you guys do when you... God damn.
We were terrible people.
We had really good childhoods. We had really privileged and awesome childhoods, and I'm forever grateful.
That led to
for
you
that.
guys running from the cops and being like complete
Well,
degenerates.
no, I didn't know Jake when during our childhood.
Okay.
I'm talking when I say childhood, I'm talking all the way up to like age 27, 26, 25, somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, then I did know you.
Yeah. Oh, you knew me when I was a child. We were children.
No, we were children. I still
had some innocence.
Yes. Well, where did we talk? Where did we tell you those stories, Dave? What happened?
At Casa de Levon?
Yeah, we had a little thing. We did a thing.
Oh, yeah. We had our first ever... Well, actually, not really. The first ever Knife Nuts get-together was before the podcast ever existed in, 2015 in King of Prussia Mall. But this was since the podcast has existed, this is the first time at least three of us... Oh, wait, no. It was the first time I had seen you guys. And we went to Levon's house, and we had a good time. There were some guests, some honored guests, and we cut up too much paper and fucked up your floor really badly.
Dude, I just today found more paper.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was too many.
Yeah, underneath the coffee
You can blame
table,
Jake for that.
more.
I did very little of it.
It's okay. Somehow the cat caught on to this, and I had a roll of paper towels downstairs, and he tore that thing to shreds.
I mean, he just
all
wanted to
over
fit
the
in.
basement. Yeah. Also, Brian, fuck you for not coming.
Sorry, man.
Yes, eternally.
Yeah. Just
Well,
eternal.
that little get together served a number of purposes, personal and professional, for our sponsor. I think we had a sponsor for that little get together, that little party, and we got to test drive some workshop products in probably one of the best, or at least most interesting ways. We had three knife
Morons.
makers.
Morons is what you're looking at.
Yeah, no, there were morons
we're
there
not
too,
referring to us at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh,
No, there were three actual knife makers there who we got footage of and got some feedback from as they were actually using the Ken Onion workshop with the blade grinding attachment, which actually turns it into, if you haven't seen this thing, it really just turns it into like a micro. It looks just like a 2x72. It's got rollers. It kind of mimics that, what a knife maker would be used to. So they all kind of gravitated towards it and got right down and started sharpening stuff. And John Gray spent some time on Levon's house knife, the Talwar, which is like a 10-inch blade or something crazy like that. And everyone got a turn, and everyone seemed to actually enjoy it, and it helped cover Levon's entire house with little shards of paper, which was my gift.
Large shards of paper.
Yeah, well, large, medium, small. I was going for small ones because they'd be harder to pick up.
Such a dick.
I'm sorry. I would think mostly the people that are going to buy it are mostly going to be novices or guys that are collectors, not really knife
Which is
makers.
a shame, yeah.
So, I mean, how does it work out for the average person?
Well, Barry sharpened a knife on it, so that was pretty impressive. And he didn't ruin his... I mean, admittedly, it was a $10 Kershaw injection, but he didn't ruin it.
Yeah, Barry shows up to the little get-together. Like, so what are you carrying, Barry? McGinnis, Horton, what are you carrying? $10 Kershaw injection.
It was a real buzzkill.
But he did carry his entire case of
It was
knives
worth
too,
more
so-
than my entire life. All of my assets combined in that one case. But yeah, I was going to say, if the amount you sharpen is directly proportional to how expensive your knife collection is, I would say that Barry is probably not a super experienced sharpener, and he still managed to actually sharpen that injection and not ruin it.
Yeah.
It's not just getting it sharp. It's with the work sharp, the problem is not ruining your knife.
Yeah, well, so I think the important thing to note is before I get to any kind of conclusion about whether it's good or whether it's bad or what tweaks I might suggest, I think the fact that first off, there's a huge difference between the original workshop design and the attachment, the blade grinding attachment. It really, I mean, it just allows the original workshop to just power something else, basically, when you put that attachment on. And it's a totally different beast. So having all that extra space and all the areas to do, use the belt to, slack grind or slack sharpen and get a convex edge. Ultimately, we had a whole bunch of people try it, and everywhere from, a professional knife maker who's been freehand, grinding and making knives for decades, all the way down to a couple of people who don't even usually sharpen their own knives. Everyone was able to use it to some degree, so some varying degree of success.
The more seasoned people seem to really take to it. They seem to enjoy
Absolutely, yeah. And like to Brian's point, does that mean that a professional knife maker should have one of these? I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what your sharpening setup is like already. I mean, it's a $210 investment to get those two pieces, so it's not terribly expensive. I mean, compared to Wicked Edge and Edge Pro and the other sort of your average high end sharpening, or even just a few good stones, it's certainly not any more expensive.
But how much? What do belts cost? Because being they're so short, they're going to wear out real quick.
Yeah, so
belts
there's a big
expensive.
There's going to be a really big difference in terms of cost of replacement belts between someone like you, Brian, who you're taking a blade, a freshly made blade off, and you're going up to put its first ever bevel, a secondary bevel on it. You would tear through belts much more quickly than the guy that just turns it on to, touch up an edge,
drop it once in a while.
And and it even had a super, super, super fine option that was basically just a strop in belt form. But my initial impression, I thought I was going to be saying, look, all the hate for the workshop comes from the fact that it's designed as more of an outdoor sharpening tool. I mean, it used to be called, maybe it still is called, like the workshop, outdoor sharpener, and marketed for just that: machetes and axes and more heavy duty, probably rusty, user tools, and not your dainty little high end, super precise, well finished, 3-inch custom knife or whatever. But honestly, with this attachment, you can use it for either purpose. And I think the belt, I want to say the belts are
It's $18 for a replacement set of 5, so like the extra coarse through the extra fine. And they're half, or the Ken Onion one, they're 3/4 by 12-inch, and then the regular one, they're 1/2-inch by 12-inch belts.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, if you take away anything from my ramble about the workshop stuff, there's a huge difference between the workshop that we've known and this this new can onion attachment. And if you're using that attachment, I would say it like anything else, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But if you've ever used a grinder, at least it's a familiar shape. Overall, I mean, I didn't hear anyone say a single bad thing about that setup. Now, we also set up the more typical, the combo unit and then the original unit, and that's where people are scared about, either hurting the finish or taking the tip off and blunting the tip of your knife. And that I can see how people do on a smaller knife, or something that's not just an outdoor tool. I would have no problems running my Camp 10 through it. And potentially,
there you go. Like, that's a knife that you actually, don't care about. Also, I mean, maybe I understand what they mean by outdoor sharpener, meaning that it's stuff that you sharpen the stuff that you use outdoors. But, the advertising kind of makes it's kind of ironic to me that it requires electricity. So there's nothing outdoor about it. You have to use it indoors.
Outdoor, more like a shed. It is an ideal shed sharpener. But again, that only goes for the traditional units. The belt grinding attachment on the can onion unit, in my opinion, makes it versatile enough to really use it for anything that you want. I don't know if it takes barbecue sauce the same way that a stone would.
Oh, I saw that. Is it still stained?
It's stained.
It's a $5 fucking stone.
It works.
You might be able to get it out with like brake cleaner or something.
Guys,
I'm just going to use it.
Stone. God damn it!
I'm just going to use it until
this isn't like a 30,000 grit fucking Shapton glass stone that cost $300.
Brian likes any excuse to use brake cleaner too. I love that.
You at least use the non-chlorinated one, Brian. Like, your hands must be useless.
I'm wondering why I have like I can't even say it. That's how fucking bad I am.
You just had a stroke.
I wonder. There was a while there that I was complaining about a lot of things that were happening to me. Like, my arms would go numb and shit.
Oh my god.
And I was wondering, is it the fucking brake cleaner doing it to me? Because I was using it a lot.
Like Mad Hatter disease, like when when being exposed to mercury, Brian has brake cleaner disease.
Well, the other thing is, when I was a kid, I used to walk around with my pellet gun, and I would just take like the can full of pellets and dump 50 pellets in my fucking mouth. The lead pellets.
Oh my god!
And it absorbs through your skin fast in the mouth too.
Yeah, that shit bioaccumulates. Oh my god!
Is there a way to test for that now?
Yeah, I think you could probably. Yeah, I think you might have some neurological damage.
There are two easy, common ways to test for that. The first is like go to your doctor and get your lead levels checked, via a blood sample. The other way is if you ever have numbness in your extremities, you have fucking lead poisoning, dude. Numbness and confusion and basically like
racism
to
racism.
Chronic racism and numbness of the extremities are really common side effects.
I use one word and it's questionable. That's I never say any other words of that.
That's true.
Except in the privacy of my own home.
All right, so we always joke about losing podcast hosts to suicide. I think we're gonna lose Brian to fucking intractable neurological damage first.
Brian, try not to stroke out until we finish this
Seriously.
episode.
I never dumped them in my mouth, but as a kid growing
there's a
up,
sound bite.
Yeah. I always bit, the split shot weights for when you're fishing,
those stuff.
I always bit those things closed. Until I started carrying a Leatherman, which was like my final stage of development before I started carrying a knife. And so that means like for 15 years I was just biting those things.
Nice.
Biting them is one thing, but I would literally walk around for hours in the woods with them in my mouth.
Brian, it's amazing that you're alive.
Were you spitting or swallowing?
There's a soundbite.
Because that's guaranteed to make you salivate. If you dump a whole bunch of lead in your mouth,
I'm sure you swallow at some point.
He actually was able to spit them with such velocity that he didn't need to use the BB gun. Yeah.
The only questionable shit I did with my mouth as a kid, now there's a soundbite. I used to chew on shoes and got a tapeworm.
What?
Yep.
Whoa!
What the fuck? The only thing was that you chewed on shoes and got a tapeworm?
You don't leave like teething children like unattended. Apparently, I was just chowing down on people's
And
shoes.
did they ever take it out? You're still only like 80 fucking pounds.
I mean, honestly,
He probably
I could
named the fucker.
It would be nice if I still had it. I could eat the way I want to and never have to worry about it. Yeah,
Dude,
if anyone has a
you-
tapeworm, hit me up.
You ordered a small shirt. You do not need a tapeworm.
I mean, I think I'm you know, if someone's got a tapeworm, I'm in the market. So send us your tapeworms through knifenuts.net. Contact us.
Send your tapeworms.
Don't actually, because that shit is horrific. Anyway, the work sharp, yeah. You know what? I think it's good. If you don't use the guides that they build in are supposed to make things easier, and that is the number one way to fuck up the tip of your knife with a work sharp is not being able to see what's happening to the tip. So as you're pulling it through that guide, and there's that critical period where the tip is obscured by the guide, you have no idea what's happening. It's like fucking Schrödinger's cat of knives, and it comes out and it's dead.
Exactly. So on the original design, so this is not the Ken Onion.
Well, it is the Ken Onion if you don't have the blade grinding attachment.
Blade grinding attachment. So I just wasn't finished that particular sentence. Anyway, so on the traditional design, I would say my two complaints are, yes, like you said, number one, you really have to pull up and get the angle just right, and it's a little bit, it can be complicated. The other thing, and this is why I sort of came to the conclusion that it works well for users and outdoor tools and things like that. As you're sharpening these things, all little bits of abrasives and little bits of steel naturally sort of stick to the guide. So if you're trying to pull like a really finely finished, like a polished, again, like a high-end production or custom blade through, that accumulation of abrasives is, as you pull through, is actually kind of scraping the other side of the knife. So the pull through work sharps, use on your heavy use stuff. If you want to try, and the other big point to the Ken Onion with the grinder attachment is it does go to a very slow speed. It's variable speed, and low is not still high. Like low is actually low enough to satisfy the knife makers that you're not going to heat up the blade and ruin your heat treat. Yeah, and it's quiet too. It's amazing.
On the low,
crank it up. Yeah. John, you like cranked it up to max, and it sounded like a full-size grinder was running in there. But
in my kitchen,
it sounded like the beginning of this episode.
But yeah, when there's no pull through and you really do just have that whole area to work freely and you can maneuver, and I really do see a purpose for that machine. And again, I mean, it's on one hand I was thinking, but it's not cheap compared to the others, but if it in any way, shape, or form replaces any of these other sharpening systems that are, like I said, sort of medium to high end, you're spending $200 to $500 anyway. So really, the only thing that it's more expensive than is the sharp maker, which can be said of almost any other sharpening system.
What do you think about it in comparison to the Wicked Edge Go, the new Wicked Edge that got released for $200? That's on my That's the only and I have not seen the Wicked Edge Go. I know.
I've bought a lot of Wicked Edge stones over the years, and I know that only comes with a single set of 200 and is it 200 and 500?
It's 200 and 600, which is like not the normal one. So like you're already in a weird spot with that, because then if you want to get like, you don't have a 400, you're just doing the jump to 600. It's weird.
Mm. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of price, that's actually the closest comparison.
Yeah,
is the Wicked Edge Go and the Ken Onion full set with the grinder attachment. So it's funny because they're very, very different animals. They really couldn't be more different. One is heavily guided, sitting on rod ends or heim joints, and the other is as unguided as can be, but makes up for that by sort of naturally giving you the option of a convex edge, which a lot of people like. So
basically what I got from this is two things. One, Schrödinger's tip, and two, the pull-out method. Oh, wait, no, it's the pull-through method.
Schrodinger's tip. That's definitely the episode ahead. But you know, they also gave us some other stuff. The combo one, not really. I don't think, Jake, unless you have some real thoughts about that one, it's not worth mentioning. But they gave us the freehand, the guided field sharpener, which is this cool little freehand setup. I'm excited to try it out. I have it, but
You haven't tried it
I
yet?
don't have a lot of things to sharpen. I've got a lot of sharp knives and none that need sharpening. So, but
dude, just you don't even have to dull it first. Just resharpen one and see how you like it.
yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's cool. It's I'm excited to try it. I'll get back to you guys next podcast about it.
You guys left me one too, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Which one was that? The little tiny thing.
No. I left him the standard, like the original.
Oh yeah. What are you gonna do with that? I don't know.
He's supposed to use that.
Hey, Quincy, come here.
What's that?
I'm going to do the cat.
Refinish your kitchen table with it or something. You can use it as a.
It looks like a hand grinder. What am I?
You can actually
do with that
rotate
thing?
it to use it as a hand grinder. I mean, that's the best thing you could do because flashback to 2012, in my college apartment, late at night using a work sharp, ruined quite a few knives on the original work sharp system. So.
Oh, so you had?
Oh yeah, I've had every knife sharpening system there is. I went from the Sharp Maker to that, to the Edge Pro, to the Wicked Edge, to the Hapstone, and then also freehand shit in between.
I have to say, you did a nice job with the barbecue sauce and the towel wash.
It's the shittiest stones possible. Actually, no, that was the K2 I sharpened.
Oh, it was the K2. I'm sorry.
Sharpening
yeah.
S1
Yeah.
was that S110V or CPM 10V on 10V
yeah.
on the shittiest of bench stones from Vipon. So my review on those is they're bad. They load up super fast, but they're $5. So I don't know. Use them on your parents' knives you don't care about.
Well, either way. So to fix their quick loading, I did go find an old aquarium water pump, and I'm just going to do a little mini water flow setup. But hopefully that'll still apply when I get real stones at some point in the future.
Yeah, you know what? The best deal on stones right now is to get these bonded diamond stones, not coated like the traditional stones from Wicked Edge and DMT and everybody. These bonded ones from Ukraine, from Gritomatic, they're awesome. They're probably the best deal in knife sharpening right now.
I need a break from diamond stones.
There's just not a lot of good offerings that can handle, over 3% vanadium carbides.
Someone needs to get the
CBN
sharpener.
The what?
I don't know what it's called. The one that comes in a
No, the Russian.
crate. Yeah, the
the
Russian
TS Prof.
I said Soviet.
Tech Studio
What
Prof.
else could it mean? Is it Tech Studio? That's
Yeah,
it.
that thing's crazy.
Someone needs to get that.
Yeah, but in like classic fashion with Russian and Chinese companies, they got like one bump and people got interested and they raised the price like at an outrageous amount. Those
Maybe we ought to swing this podcast dick their way and see what happens.
yeah, I think we have slandered Russia a little bit too much to be able to get free tech studios. We're not Wrangle Star. That video actually has like multiple hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube because it's got some super clickbaity name about like this box from Russia changed my life.
Yeah.
Yes, the box from Russia changed my life. It's got 1.9 million views.
That sounds like a mail order bride advertisement.
Yeah, I don't want to say this guy looks like he might mail order a bride, but he might mail order a bride. Someone keep the knives away from her. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
What do you think of Maria Knives?
Okay, that's
I
Weird
don't
thing
know
of the
what
week.
to say. I woke up this morning.
Speechless.
Was it this morning? I can't remember. And I was like scrolling through my feed like I usually do. I was like, something will wake me up here. Oh, there they are, tits on a knife. And it's not like engraved tits, which is kind of
No,
the
it's
classy way.
tits.
No.
It's straight up just like a mammary right there.
It's like a
The only way they could
three-dimensional.
have done it better is if they actually put like a little silicone, so it actually had jiggle to it and shit,
like some sort of fidget tool, but it's a fidget tip.
Fidget nip.
Yes.
It's I like I've talked about people sexualizing knives and how I think it's the weirdest fucking thing, but this is the new level. Like we have exceeded poor knives with 3-dimensional like body parts on knives now.
Beautifully sculpted. I mean, like a nice perky tit right on the scale of that knife.
It is. It's just so fucking weird.
It's
Also,
very
how do you hold
strange.
that knife? Like no offense.
By the you kind of sort of you it's a supple but firm grasp.
Well, here's the thing. Unlike real tits, it does not have any give, so it's just going to be like this metal thing poking in your hand.
Like zirconium tits.
It lactates oil that go all over the to lube it up for the bearing.
God.
Oh, that would be. It's self-lubricating.
Oh God.
What did he do? Did he gild the nipples?
Yes.
I wasn't
They're
sure
gold.
what was happening.
It's probably some sort of, I don't know. Yeah, they look gold.
Do you think whose tits do you think they use to model those tits?
I would say that person's probably honored, but let's be honest, if you were immortalized on a weird ass knife, would you really be that happy about it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anthony Marfione commented on it, and he was like, "Yes."
Of course he did. Yeah, I don't know. There's enough weird, okay, maybe she doesn't do it as much. She used to post a lot of,
the leg
yeah,
ones.
like the weird sort of vaguely sexual.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah, no complaints from me.
Just take a picture of the leg without a knife, and I'm all about it.
Let me just put it out there right now. It is International Women's Day today.
It is, actually.
We're recording that. And for it's great to have some female participation.
Oh, absolutely.
In the knife community.
Yeah, we could definitely use more.
And to all 2 of our female listeners, thank you for listening. And it doesn't have to be International Women's Day for us to appreciate.
Should we look at the new Spydercos?
Yeah,
what a transition.
They look nice. I was looking at the actual production sample photos that you sent earlier.
Yeah.
They look good.
Let's go to Spyderco Collector. I sent the link. There's ones that, they have production pieces of knives that were supposed to be released last year, so that's kind of cool to see. Like the Spyderco Hannon, might actually come into production this year. The Reinhold Rhino. So it was nice to see those, but there was a few new ones. Probably most prominently was the one from Black Snow Customs, the new Spyderco collaboration.
Oh, yes.
Was it the Sabotage?
Oh yeah, I was actually on the list for one of those, the custom ones for a while, but it came up at a time where I could not even think about ordering.
Yeah.
It. So I just had him take me off the list because there was going to be a while before I was going to be able to afford one. And he's a great guy. He shares he did share a shop with Lee Lerman.
Yeah, and they're both in Israel, so.
Yeah, great. They're both great guys, and he was a new knife maker, but he took to it as Jake said earlier, something like a baby goose. I don't know what the reference was, but it made me laugh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jake said it. That Mark took to Levon like a baby goose.
You got your references mixed up there.
Yeah,
maybe
that was about a certain Mark.
Yeah,
I know that.
But none of us understood what the phrase meant. So we're
as like a baby goose.
We're trying to figure it out now.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
If a baby goose gets separated from its mom, basically the next big animal that it sees, it just follows for the rest of its life.
There we go.
See, imprints on it.
We've always got animal facts on deck here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't say I didn't like it. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited about the production. It looks very faithful to the design and the construction of the Sabotage.
Yeah,
it's a weird knife to go with orange on, though.
I like the orange.
I love orange.
It's contrasty.
It's a weird decision.
Well, some of the original ones he did were the G10, and I remember distinctly an orange one.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the custom. There's no way around that. It's just basically the custom.
Now, is it the small version of the custom or the full
4-inch
size?
blade, 9.25 inches.
So it's the full size. Wow, neat.
It looks cool, but I have learned my lesson about blades that have that extremely abrupt sweep to the tip. They are extremely difficult to sharpen freehand because you have to do this crazy curvature to get it. Like the Lionsteel SR1 is the first time I encountered that, and after that I was like, nope, not going to do this blade shape ever again. And that's kind of what's going on here. So...
Well, I'll probably get it and never use it. So
yeah, there we go.
That.
You know what I'm worried about? It's going to be S30V. I'm not worried because I honestly don't care, but I'm the autistic screeching that's going to happen when it is S30V is going to be bad because people really can't stand when things are S30V these days.
Better S30 than S35, I say.
Yes, Jake, your hot take.
Make it hot.
That is hot. A genuinely organic hot take.
Yep.
But You know what one doesn't look any better? The Parada, the one with that new lock, the stop lock.
Oh, yeah. Before we get on to that, I just want to say I do like what the Mantra looks like now. I think it changes for the
What,
better.
the CF Mantra?
Yes.
Yeah, and if it's got the new bearing set up and doesn't suck as a flipper, that'll be great. Yeah.
And what else we got here?
There is another new one that has not been shown before, that was not shown at like Blade or anything. It is let me find it.
Are we all in agreement that Southern is not good
No,
looking?
it's because the plunge is like awful. The Southern Hanon. And also I just don't trust Spyderco's got to do something. I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in them making a flipper that flips well. Even though it's just a dedicated flipper, so they don't have to try and make it work for all the opening methods, I still...
You've mentioned that before, a time or 2 or 10.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still biased. I mean, it's because I've had, like 2 or 3 of them, and none of them were good. How was the dice? Didn't you have that, or the domino? That way back in the past, Levon?
Yeah, we each... Yeah, I had one and he had the other, and they flipped just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they were good.
That's good to know. But the...
Except that was during the skinny washer period, so they would have developed an issue at some point, right? Or if I had over-tightened it at all.
You know what looks...
And one did develop an issue.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this new one that they hadn't shown before from Alistair Phillips, I don't know this knife maker, looks
I'm
gorgeous.
looking for it now.
It is carbon fiber,
Yeah, it looks
contoured
cool.
carbon fiber with a red G10 backspacer. It's got the compression lock. It looks very nice. 3.3 ounces, 3.5 inch blade. That one looks cool. I'm all about that one.
That's that. Oh, look at that.
S30V if you zoom in, so it doesn't bother me.
Jake
but
won't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it. So somebody will. I think we can anticipate at this point. We can kind of predict what people will say. Yeah.
What do we feel about the price point on that Rasanti?
On the Recenti, the Paisan, they have better pictures of it since nobody really.
It looks very good.
I mean, yeah, it looks good. It looks as good as the Nirvana was, but it's what, 520 or something. Let me just double check that. I don't want to.
that's absolutely insane.
What if it comes in at more money than the? It's 520. Yeah, it's gonna be $520, and that's. What if that is more than the Custom Knife Factory Satori, which is the other Recenti integral? Which one are you getting?
It really needed to be made in America if that's the price point that they had in mind.
Yeah, it's
Sorry guys.
it's the price creep is real. Like, I'm definitely not getting this for $520.
That's not a creep. That's a
Yeah,
jump.
It's a straight up no.
For a Taichung, for a Taichung factory knife, I mean, that just needed to be a Colorado knife.
I like the change they made.
It looks good. I really have no problems about the execution of the knife.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the price is. Oh man, yeah. You know what? Because other people have done integrals that are also made overseas for cheaper. So I don't know. Hey, that Liong Mah you have in your hand.
Yeah, which is way more detailed.
Yeah.
And way more everything.
Yeah, just in every sense, it's more, and it is except for in cost. I mean, I think that one's $600 though, right?
This one's pricey with the hand.
Yeah. So if you got the comparable, if you got a stonewash version, it's $500. So $20 cheaper, and it has got way more details.
Arguably better. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I would rather have a multitude of different integrals on the market for that price than... It's sad because it's a cool knife, but nah, not for me.
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see if anyone... I mean, the Nirvana got discontinued in a year, and, part of that was probably because it was difficult to make, and then part of it was also probably because it was expensive. I can't see this one lasting more than a year.
I like the now that I've seen better pictures of it, what's the little guy called?
The mouse? I mean, the Techno?
The Techno.
Yeah, the mouse is the custom. The Techno too. I mean, I like the green standoffs. That looks cool.
Yeah, that was a nice little.
And
touch.
I like the blade shape change, but it's like the exact same size, so I don't. It's like not that exciting. It's too.
It's also a little thin.
Yeah, that's also a good idea. But like, I don't know. Maybe a different size would have been nice instead of an exact same size as the original Techno.
Well, then it wouldn't be a
think-
sequel.
True.
Yeah, no, I think that was a huge selling point. That's one of those knives that gained a real cult following because it felt much better in hand than it looked in pictures, and you know, and it really caught on. I think slimming it down in thickness was the right thing to do, because if anyone was turned off by it, it was, I mean, it was a little brick.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean? Like, it was so thick that, like, for its size, it was just heavier than it should be. So I think slimming it down and just updating the look a little bit was actually a great idea.
What do you guys think about this Jonathan McNee's collaboration? 1.5-inch blade. It's got
that little warning.
Yeah, it's got like the syphilis pivot. And
you're jumping all over the place, so I got to scroll like crazy.
That's the only other new knife, I think.
Well, I have something to say about that. I mean, obviously, it's just hideous, and I don't get its place in the market in the marketplace. But if you look at the photo that shows a close up on the how nice it is to your thumb when you unlock it, do you see that? The little crater effect in there. So not only does it have a big bevel, and you know, cut out in the lock bar, but it's also textured, what I would say, properly. You know, like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's got the syphilis texture.
The syphilis texture, yeah. Well, it looks perfect for your thumb. So I like that.
That's, you know, if that's the most exciting thing you can say about the knife, that it looks easy to disengage the lock when you want to disengage it. Is that really inspiring a lot of passion?
It is impossibly small too. Do you guys see the
1.5-inch
pictures of
blade.
it?
It's crazy. Is there like a real demand for like Rike hummingbird size knives?
Honestly, like, I think that pocket clip is kind of useless on there.
Yeah, it's like, why, just put it in like your watch pocket or something. It's tiny.
The size makes it a little more.
The pocket clip is the size of the knife. I didn't think about that. It's the size of the whole handle. I don't know. I didn't get to handle your Rike hummingbird. That was disappointing.
Oh, that was a stupid mistake.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't think they really showed off anything new. Yeah, it was like those 4 knives, and that's it. Spyderco doing weird things, as usual.
Good. At least some things never change.
Certainly. The only thing that does change with Spyderco is the prices.
It's price, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that sabotage looks great, though.
Are these all Taichung factory knives, or is it just
most of them? But I think they'd like the Little Native, and I think the Little Native's made in America.
Okay.
But I think they're pretty much at capacity with the American factory. They added the Shaman and then the Little Natives, so they on top of all the other stuff.
I do like that. I think I do like that Parada, by the way.
Do you really?
I think I like it.
I don't know. I don't know.
I definitely love the shape. I'm not sure what the lock is going to feel like. So
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait till we get that one in hand.
I mean, I'm not going to pay money for it. Let's just be honest.
And also the money that they'll want for it to be the dead horse is more than you're going to want to pay for it.
That horse is dead.
Oh yeah, there's no rube left. There's no jokes left there. I mean, it's just.
Did you guys see, if you scroll down, they go into like there's a next article from January 13th, and it's the Mosquito, the unofficial Spyderco folder.
I have read that and seen that before. Yeah,
I have not.
It's very strange. Scroll down.
All right,
it's
a modified ladybug.
The Mosquito. It's an attractive name.
It's for like the worst creature on the face of the earth.
Oh, that is. I hate that thing. Oh God, it's like a really visceral reaction upon seeing that.
Yes, good.
That's awful.
That's all I wanted, you guys. We have to put a link to that now in our show notes.
Oh yeah. Should we we actually got a few questions, like not bad questions either, from Instagram. Should we do those?
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah. Let me go take a look.
Well, the first one's from nfresh6. Get Brian to talk about the chicane, maybe. Well, Brian, do you want to talk about the chicane?
Didn't we already?
Yeah.
I think you already did.
We talked about the pocket clip, at least. You guys know what kind of pocket clip it's going to have. Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else you really want to know about.
It comes out when it comes out.
Well, it's a different system than what people have gotten used to from ordering the Mini Typhoon. You know,
I have a feeling that this one's going to be very polarizing, so I don't want to get into a bunch of orders with it right away. I kind of want to feel out what people think of it, so I'm gonna start off
Trickle
just
them
making
out.
a few. You know, the other problem is right now, I'm gonna have to start making knives for blade soon. So that's gonna tie things up also. So it's gonna be slow. There's gonna be a slow year. I'm not gonna be busting knives out like I was. The ones I'm gonna be making though are gonna be nicer. So the first little batch of chicanes, which are gonna be my first test form, they're gonna be on the fancier end.
Makes sense.
Can't wait. Let's see. Stephen Bishop wants to know about our favorite adult beverages. So,
Well, there was a time when it was whiskey, but
yeah.
that time is long gone.
I mean, if you went by what people drank at the get together,
It's
an
all
entire case of
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
It's all LaCroix all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Fizzy
the way this story will be told in the future was that I invited a bunch of people to Levon's house without his knowledge, and therefore he was not prepared for a party, and therefore the only beverage served was sparkling water, flavored sparkling water.
I mean, I have beer and booze, but nobody drank it.
Yeah, it just kind of happened. We were so focused on littering your house with paper that
Yeah, you would think everyone was drunk the way that the house was left, but no, everybody was sober.
we should shout out who was there. It was
John Gray,
John Gray, Herman Octor of Octor Knives, and Frank Landau, he used to be C4 Kydex, and now
he
he's
still is. Is he not?
C4 Knives and Kydex, I think. But he makes an awesome fixed blade as well.
Yes, that was good. One more question from N Fresh. He said, if each of you were to buy a knife tomorrow, what would it be? Or maybe there's one you're already eyeing.
Mm-hmm. I have like 3 answers, so you go first.
Immediately on my immediate buy list are the 2 new releases from Beg Knives. The Riot built Steelcraft series for the Mini Glimpse, and I really want to try the Mini Quaken or the 3/4 Quaken. I forgot what they call it.
Mine is still the copper Natrix.
Oh yeah,
and I at the same time I'll probably.
But you can't buy that tomorrow. You can't buy that tomorrow.
Yeah. I was gonna, in typical form, give a real douchey answer and say I've decided that the next time I need a knife or the next knife I'm like
you create an excuse to buy.
Set out to purchase. Yeah, like when the next time I have an excuse to buy a knife, I'm just gonna make that knife, assuming it's a fixed blade, of course. Which is why I've kind of been sort of shifting my focus around here to set up get set up to do that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. So tomorrow I actually do plan to finish building this thing. So that's my answer, is a little 7-inch bushcrafty fixed blade. Dave?
Wow, I have myself muted. I just pulled a Brian.
Yeah. If Brian were to buy his first knife tomorrow, what would it be?
If I was to buy my first knife tomorrow?
Yes. Like, what would you pick right now if you could go buy a knife?
It would be a gun.
He's a real knife nut, everybody.
Jesus God.
What gun would you buy tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm actually on it. You know what? It's funny because I'm just enjoying shooting. I've been shooting a lot lately, so instead of spending my money on guns, I've been spending it on ammo, and I'm enjoying it a whole lot more. I don't really need any more new guns.
Fair enough.
Fucking what kind of ammo would you buy then? Could you just answer the question in some capacity?
I'd buy 45,000 rounds of 9mm and give me another 50K and 45, and we're good.
Okay.
I would get the Wee Knife Zeta. I want to get one before they disappear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's kind of on my radar. That and when ZT drops the 0609 shortly. But that's kind of it for now. I'm pretty happy about what we have.
I want another Mini Typhoon.
I'm content with mine. So
I'd like one of my daggers. Tell you the truth.
There we
If
go.
I can have one. Except in New Jersey, I'd go to jail for it.
just only sharpen one
That's
side.
why you send it. That's why you sell one to me, and
I can
That
come
way-
visit it.
yeah, you can come visit it.
Yep.
We'll have joint custody of one.
And then there's a comment in there about North Arm knives, and this
Well, I don't even know who that
it's
is.
this company that came out of nowhere. They're like, I think all the stuff is completely CNC made. It looks like, because you can see the lines on the blade from the tool lines or tool path or whatever. And I don't know. They've not been on my radar, but like they're getting a lot of buzz. It's apparently, I think it's really cheap. That's why, and like pretty well made, but it is just a very unattractive, sort of boring design to me. It's called the Skaha, Skaha, and I don't know, just not doing it for me.
And that same guy talks about demand for some knife that I have not heard of any demand for a knife that they produce.
There's a pretty huge amount of
Link,
demand.
please.
We're kind of
Oh, really?
we're kind of out of the loop here.
Late to
Yeah,
the
this is
game.
kind of embarrassing since we're supposed to be like the cognoscenti of the knife field, but like this one just like, I don't know. I don't think they're going the normal channel. I want to say this has something to do with Reddit, because that's like the one place I don't check for any information about
Let me
knives.
go take a look at this knife.
Link, please.
I sent it in the Hangouts chat. Here we go. It's $225 Canadian. That's more expensive than I expected.
Oh wait, I did see this. Is this the one that that Nick Shabazz reviewed?
Yeah,
too?
a few people have gotten them and reviewed them.
What's the name of
The
it?
North Arm Knives Skaha, Skaha.
Oh yeah. I was just wondering if I was looking at the right
Yeah,
one.
I think they're like
Ugh.
not a fan, but I just don't like the. It looks too
this-
CNC. The
The
blade.
site is impossible to navigate on.
I think this
mobile.
is why the person said IT issues. This is very confusing.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, so it's $187 for a knife. Okay. I guess that's pretty good. It's made in Canada. That's 35 yen.
Made in
It has a
Canada.
throwbacky feel to it.
Look how thin the blade is.
Yeah. It definitely feels like throwback. Jake, what was that knife you had from that maker on Blade Forums who handmade all of his knives? It was a custom. It was that one guy.
The one that he gave me.
I'll
the
never
one that he
remember the
gave
guy's
me.
name, but he like.
Walter Wells is the one I gave to Levon,
There's another one. I'm never gonna remember the guy's name.
and
It reminds me of those.
you caused a brain fart. Hang
Yeah,
on.
I'm never gonna remember this. We're not
back
gonna
to
be able
me.
to find any information about this guy anyway, so segment's pointless. But
I can't. I still haven't even seen a picture of this knife on the mobile site. I'm gonna try going to it on the fucking.
you might just have to Google image search it.
Don't
It's,
kill yourself. It's really not worth it.
Oh, I'm gonna try.
I think I was watching.
Oh,
I was watching
see it.
Austin's live stream, and
Did he actually pull these wires off of some Spydercos? What's happening?
yeah, the wire. I mean, I like the wire clip, so I guess it's cool that someone's
Yeah.
using the wire clip. But
I mean, I don't have a problem with anything about the knife really, except that. I
it's
mean,
just meh. It's not really inspiring me.
people just like to be, whatever. That same guy goes on to say something about Microtech, quote unquote, bringing the fire. Oh, dropping fire. What have they dropped?
I mean, the new SOCOM Elite is cool.
Yeah, but that's not new. We've been talking about that
Yeah.
since.
It's been a long time coming.
It's not. It's not new. It's the old SOCOM Elite.
Yeah, just with Torx hardware. Oh no, the old one had Torx hardware too.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's ever so slightly different. I don't know. Yeah, and then the textureless cipher, aka an Ultratech.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see the new Stormtrooper cipher? That's $975. It's I think a production one too.
Is it pretty?
No, it's not that cool. It comes with like a handmade Stormtrooper-esque bead from Schmuckatelli or something. I don't know. It was not.
Schmuck.
It was not super exciting.
I did not see
But
it.
I
I'm sorry.
didn't realize that they were still keeping with the fake Star Wars knives.
What I did
It
see
was Ron Flaherty, by the way.
Ron
was the other-
Flaherty. Wow, there's a blast from knives. That's what that knife reminds me of. Thank you.
Okay, but yeah, I know. I thought you were referring to thin blade stock, and I was gonna say no. That actually has relatively.
No, it's
thick
just like
blade
the
stock on
overall
that.
shape and design just reminded me of that guy.
Yeah.
There's a real blast from the past. I don't think those knives are made anymore.
I remember that knife.
Yes, that was gifted to a close friend, so it's not far away.
So it's thrown in a drawer somewhere.
Yep. Custom knife thrown in a drawer.
It's his first custom knife, so he's definitely not using it. But yeah, I'd like to see that one again. Doesn't this knife?
Yeah. I'm still trying to look through Microtech's page to see if there's any quote unquote fire. There's no fire.
I mean, I could.
False alarm.
Nicely done.
Dead air.
I was just gonna say it.
I was waiting for it.
All right, want to wrap it up?
Yeah. I feel like there was something else we needed to talk about, but maybe not.
We'll eventually be giving away
high-pitched?
something from Worksharp once they actually get back in touch with us. The working theory right now is that they abandoned us after they actually listened to the podcast and realized they didn't want us affiliated with them.
It's probably true. We have some new merch on the website.
Yes, the China D2 shirts.
Get them while they're hot.
Yeah.
I don't know what. If you DM me on Instagram, I'll send you a coupon code if you want to get a little. You want to get if you want to spend some money with us, that'd be great.
Yeah, then I get the emails and the pictures of my stickers, like on people's machines and shit. It's great.
People have bought that. They love that. I'm gonna put your face on more stuff.
Yes. Gonna have a street team painting graffiti.
I'm gonna wait
Brian's
until you
face.
make money, then I'm gonna sue your ass.
Oh yeah. All the money that we're making.
Oh yes. The tens upon tens of dollars.
I'm waiting. I'm counting on you guys to do something with this shit.
Yeah.
This shit show.
We're trying. Other than that, please visit our gracious sponsor, Tackle Outdoors, for if you want to buy some stuff and get 10% off. Put in coupon code Knife Nuts. What else?
Go to our website, knifenuts.net.
You can now listen to the podcast on YouTube, right?
Yep, mostly. I'll upload the rest of the
What is
episodes.
that?
I'll upload the rest of the episodes. I got lazy.
Oh,
You can
God.
mostly listen to it on YouTube. If you want to hear it first, go through conventional podcast means.
And for our next episode, at least one of the topics will be a very in-depth look at some Quest custom knives.
Oh yeah, we forgot to do that, so we'll have to do that eventually.
Yeah. Well, I assume the music is fading in at this point, so
Just have Jake do it
Yeah,
every time.
yeah. Oh God, that just sounds like a cat in heat.
And that's
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yep.
Make sure you get
Take
the
care.
sweet parts in there.